Tonight's clip is one of those conversations that starts simple but quickly turns into something much deeper. A caller says she's thriving in life, making six figures as a truck driver while raising 4 children on her own. On the surface, it sounds like a success story. Independent, hardworking, taking care of business. But when Kevin starts asking a few more questions, the conversation shifts. Because thriving isn't just about surviving or paying the bills. It's about the bigger picture, relationships, family structure, and what example we're setting for the next generation.
No, like roof.
Are you thriving?
Are you what?
Are you thriving in life? Thriving, meaning not just surviving, meaning you're living life on purpose, on plan, and thriving.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. I don't hear a thriving woman.
Okay.
Let me give you a definition of thrive so we're both on the same page. Okay. Thriving. To thrive. So why do you say you're thriving?
Based on what definition you give me.
Say again?
Based on the definition that you give me.
Say again?
That you give me.
What is going on with your microphone based on the definition I gave you?
Yes, sorry. Because the way my phone is pulled.
No, thrive. To grow vigorously, to flourish, to gain in wealth or possessions, to prosper, to progress towards and realize a goal despite the circumstances.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I should say yes. My goal or meet financially, yes.
What do you do for a living?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a truck driver.
You make more than 6 figures?
My company, sorry?
You make more than 6 figures?
A year, yes.
More than 200?
200 what? No.
More than 150?
100, yes.
With 4 kids?
Yes, sir.
If you were single, yes. Even if you had 1 kid, but 4 kids, better than most. See, what I'm trying to get us to understand is, I'm going to move you to the side because I don't know you, but so many of our women have made survival thriving. This is why we have so many women calling themselves divas, bosses, and queens when you're just average. And it's like you're living life by yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you own your own company or whatever, but you're doing it alone. And that may be okay for you because those are your adult choices. But what I'm asking is, what are your children's choices going to be? And it's about people. What are you teaching your children that the importance of relationship is? And I'm hearing that you're not saying anything. No. It's just work and get some money.
Yes. Because I guess myself, I don't know either what it is, right? So
you don't what?
I guess because myself, I don't know the meaning either.
Were your mother and father married?
Sorry?
Were your mother and father married?
No.
Well, where were you born? Where were you born?
They divorced when I was a baby, few months.
When you were about 10 years old, did you think you'd be an unmarried mother of 4?
No, I never even thought about it. No, I didn't.
Did you expect to be married at some point?
No, I wanted to be a nun.
Well, you're damn sure not that.
No, I didn't.
So I got a hard question to ask.
No problem, sir.
Did you have your children all on purpose?
No.
Okay. Well, my suggestion would be that you stop just living.
Okay.
And you stop being, I don't want to say selfish, but a lot of times women, because there's nobody to check you. You're a god to your kids.
Yes.
There's no balance. But how are you equipping your sons and your daughters to go out into the world to interact with other people. Do you think life would be easier with a spouse?
Yes, I would say yes and no. I'm in the middle.
Yes and no.
Yes, sir.
Why yes and no?
Yes, I would have a spouse who doesn't even feel, I guess.
Everywhere, every continent on the planet where there are human beings, it is easier to live and cooperate together.
Okay.
I ask you if it would be easier to have a spouse, and the answer is you want to say yes, it would. The reality is you just don't know how to do it. But just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean we try to make it seem like what we're doing is okay. Let me give you a different example. You went to school.
Yes, I did.
High school? Did you go to college or just high school?
College.
Okay. So everybody has subjects that they're good in.
Yes, sir.
Let's just say you're bad in math. You're bad in math.
Right.
Okay, but would you ever, as an intelligent woman, go out into the world and say, math is stupid, math is dumb, you don't need math, just because you're bad in math?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, that's what you're doing with relationships.
Wow.
Is a spouse would life be easier with the spouse? Well, I'm not good in relationships. Relationships, spouse is math for you. And you got to be careful. You got to be cognizant of the words that come out of your mouth, because it's not just about you anymore. You got kids, and they're going to look. Do you want your daughter to live like you live?
No.
By yourself?
No, sir. No.
How old is your daughter?
She's 15.
Then what are you modeling for her? What are you telling her? And then what are you modeling for her? Or are you so busy working, paying bills, that the kids are pretty much figuring it out on their own?
No, I have time for them. I have time.
Okay, so when I asked you about relationships, I was hoping to hear you tell me what you're putting into them.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't really talk about relationship like that. Most, we talk in general.
Okay.
What we talk about most is more about the Bible. Sorry, relationship, we're really kind of related with the Bible, kind of the Jesus Christ love, Church Christ. I don't know.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I was raised in the church. I've been baptized since I was 5, so you came to the right one with that. That's not a reason to not talk about relationships.
Okay. I just don't raise the question then.
Okay. Do you talk about sex?
Sex. Yes, we do, but I was really brief on that. Like
brief?
Yeah.
Brief.
Yeah, yes.
So if they're not going to get it from mom and dad, and there's no dad, there's mom. So what are they supposed to get it from? The world?
No, so basically
yes.
No, I wouldn't want that.
But that's what you're doing. See, in the Bible Belt, we had a lot of people who thought like this: don't talk about it because you don't want to put it in their minds. I didn't do that with my daughter. I talked about this stuff.
Okay.
And I was shocked that even 9 years old, some of these stuff these girls are talking about. The important stuff is people. You're talking about a relationship with a God they can't see. But what do you tell them to do with the people they can see?
Avoid.
Huh?
To avoid them?
To avoid. To avoid people?
Yeah.
Why? Are people dangerous?
Well, yeah, some, but it's not written on
No.
the forehead.
You're a person, are you dangerous?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
No.
really? If I ask the fathers of your children,
No.
are you the kind of woman that should be avoided?
No, they will answer you. Definitely no.
Okay, well, my point is, ma'am, we're all humans.
Sure. Okay.
How do you get around and avoid people? The reality is, this is the kind of stuff that modern women are supposed to be doing, but they can't do because they're so busy working, making money, that what they're best at doing by nature is the relationship. Just so women today have really no emotional, they're doing so much emotional labor that you don't have time to really teach the kids the stuff. So it's basically just survive.
Okay.
Like, it's not your intention, but you're just not thinking about it. It's like, well, I tell them that God is good and God loves them and we can read the Bible. You know how many girls came up pregnant in the church because they didn't talk about sex?
Yes, I heard.
And then about relationships. Well, and I go back to what I said at the beginning. It's all fear.
Okay. So
your children are being taught to think the relationships are fear. Can't do that.
no, just realize that. And thank you.
But how do you thrive when we live in fear? That's my question.
You don't thrive.
See, the thing is because we don't challenge what women think, because we don't ask women serious questions, because we tell women because you got a job, a degree, or whatever, and it looks like it, we don't look at the outcome. And you'll say, I'm thriving. Thriving and fear have nothing to do with one another.
Okay.
There's no thriving in fear. False evidence appearing real. Go back to the beginning of our interview. I've been in our conversation, and everything you said was fear, scarcity, and lack. Nothing happened, but just false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So my thing is, you got 3 children who are teenagers and a 2-year-old. You need to equip them with something and talk to them about relationships, because you have 3 children who are of age to have babies. They're fertile.
Okay.
Are there dads in their lives?
Sorry?
Are there fathers in their lives?
Off and on.
The youngest one has a different father than the 3 oldest ones?
Yeah. He's there. Yes, he's there.
The youngest one's father is?
Yes.
Why didn't you guys decide to be together?
Because I went for a quick trip in Africa. I met him in Africa, but he lied that he was not married, but found out that he was married.
He's married, his wife is in Africa?
Yes, so I couldn't stay with him.
And you got pregnant?
Yes.
So he's in Africa?
Yes, sir.
How's he involved in their life?
We travel, we go see him.
Childish too.
Yes. And phone calls.
That doesn't make sense. You're in Canada, he's in Africa. He's not in your child's life. And 2, see, what I'm trying to get you to understand is you've been kind of on autopilot doing this, and you're just saying it's like, as an adult, you could do that. But a kid can't. I'm going to call a pause right now. I think it'll be a good idea for you to sit down with a family counselor,
Okay.
you and all your children, because there sounds to me like there's some life skills that did not get taught. You're 37, and whether he was married or lying or not, you were having unprotected sex. That's 100% on you.
Yes, definitely.
You should not be having another baby with a man who's over there. And even if he wasn't married, what was your plan going to be? Your kids are in Canada. What are you going to do, moving to Africa?
Yes, that was my plan.
When you decide to be a mom and have all these kids, your life is up. Your life is supposed to be about your kids at this point.
Okay.
That's what conventional wisdom would say. Why would you move your children to Africa in their teen years? See, what's supposed to happen is you and I are supposed to get together, and then we're supposed to have a hierarchical relationship. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, husband, wife, and then we're supposed to decide we want to have children, and then get pregnant on purpose. When you're pregnant, we're supposed to already be preparing for this child to come in, to where it can come into an environment that's prepared on purpose. The next child on purpose, the third child on purpose. And we're supposed to do what we're supposed to do as adults to make sure that these people can get socialized, educated, to get out into the real world, to have the best chance to survive and thrive. That doesn't mean, well, we want to go live in Jamaica and I want to go live over here, or we still living life while we have no kids. No. So this is why I say counseling, because, a lot of us didn't learn this stuff. We didn't learn these skills. We were just taught to get a job, go to work, and do what you want to, and drag the kids along. But at least you sound like you at least have the means to start having conversations. Your three oldest children are already who they are, but y'all need to start communicating and talking, because you don't want your boys to go out and get some girl pregnant, and you don't want your girl to come back home pregnant. And then the 2-year-old, you got to have a better plan.
Okay.
Have a good one, man. Bye-bye. That was heavy. That was rather heavy. This is why I don't think the right message for women is just do you. Worry about you. Get your...
And that right there is why conversations like this hit so many people differently depending on where they are in life. Because on the surface, when someone says they're making good money, taking care of their kids, and handling everything on their own, most people will immediately say that's success. They'll say that's strength. They'll say that's thriving. But what Kevin was really pushing in this conversation was a different question. Are we confusing survival with thriving? Because surviving means you're getting through life, paying bills, handling responsibilities, doing what you have to do day by day. Thriving means something bigger than that. Thriving means your life is structured, your relationships are stable, your children are learning what healthy family dynamics look like, and the next generation is actually being prepared to do better than the last one. And that's the uncomfortable part of this discussion. Because a lot of people today are forced into situations where they have to survive. They have to work long hours. They have to handle everything themselves. They don't necessarily get the blueprint that previous generations were supposed to provide. But the bigger question Kevin kept bringing the conversation back to was this. Once you recognize that something is missing, what do you do about it? Do you just keep going on autopilot, telling yourself everything is fine because the bills are paid and the kids are fed? Or do you start having the harder conversations about relationships, planning, family structure, and what example your children are actually learning from watching you live your life. Because kids don't just listen to what parents say. They watch what parents do. If the message is that life is just about working, paying bills, and avoiding people because relationships are difficult, then that becomes the blueprint they grow up with. But if the message becomes learning how to communicate, how to build partnerships, how to plan life intentionally instead of reacting to it, then the next generation has a better chance of doing things differently. That's really what this conversation was about. Not judging someone's life or attacking someone's effort, but asking whether we're actually building something better for the future or just trying to get through the present. Because thriving is bigger than income. It's bigger than independence. It's about building a life that works not just for you today, but for the people who come after you. So now the question goes to everyone watching this video. Do you think modern independence is helping people thrive? Or do you think a lot of people today are just surviving and calling it thriving? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because conversations like this always bring strong opinions from both sides. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads. And as always, make sure to support Kevin Samuel's original content and legacy, because these kinds of discussions are exactly why millions of people kept tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.